What would you do right now? Like right now, if you realize that someone followed you home? Do you have a plan? Because most women don't, and that's exactly why we need to talk. Hey, welcome back. If you're here, I'm so glad you found this video. And if you've been here before, you already know what we're about. This is a safe space where we talk about things, honestly, about the things that actually matter. Now, in part 1 of this series, we covered the foundational apartment safety basics. Things like securing your doors and windows, what to do when you first move into a new place, how to create a safe environment inside your home. If you haven't seen that video, I will link it right in the description. And if you want a part 2 where I talk about dating safety when living alone, how to handle suspicious neighbors, emergency response planning, and self-defense basics, that's exactly what we are diving into today. This video is for you, whether you are living alone for the first time, whether you've been doing it for years, or whether you are just someone who takes their safety seriously. And honestly, all women should. We are going to cover a lot of ground today, so get comfortable, grab your tea, your coffee, your juice, whatever you've got, because this is the kind of conversation every woman deserves to have. Let's get into it. Before we jump in, real quick, if you find this kind of content useful, please hit that like button. It genuinely helps more women find these videos, and this channel is still growing. I put a lot of care into making content that's actually helpful and not just scary or overwhelming. So if you found this video helpful, you appreciate me by subscribing, and it will mean the world to me. Okay, now let's actually get into it. Let's talk about something that a lot of safety videos just skip over completely: dating. Because here's the reality: when you live alone, dating comes with a layer of vulnerability. The people in shared homes or with roommates don't always think about. When you go on a date with someone new, you are potentially letting a stranger know where you live, and that's something we need to be very, very intentional about. I'm not saying don't date. Please date, have fun, live your life. I'm saying be smart about it. There is a difference between just dating and being smart about it. And that brings us to tip number 1. Never share your home address with someone you just met. I know this sounds obvious, but it happens all the time. Someone seems really nice, you've been chatting for 2 weeks, and then they offer to pick you up, and it feels rude to say no. But you absolutely can. You can always say no. And you should say no until you know this person well. For first dates, always meet at a public location. Drive yourself, take a taxi, take a ride share, but do not let someone you barely know your home address. Your apartment is your sanctuary. Protect it. Now, the second tip is tell someone where you're going. Before every first date or any date with someone you don't know well, tell a friend or family member where you're going, who you are meeting, and what time you are expected to be back. Send them a screenshot of the person's profile if you met them online. I want you to think of this as your personal checking system, not paranoia preparation. If a friend isn't available, send yourself an email with all the details or leave a note. The point is that the information exists somewhere outside of your own head, that you are heading somewhere with someone you just met. Tip number 3. Trust your gut on the date itself. I cannot say this enough. If something feels off, leave. You do not owe anyone a full evening of your time. You don't need a dramatic reason to end a date. You can say, I'm not feeling well. You can say, I have an emergency. You can say, I have an early morning rush tomorrow. You can say nothing at all and simply leave. There's a phase I really love. Your body knows before your brain does. If you're sitting across from someone and you feel a creeping discomfort, honor that feeling. It doesn't matter if they seem properly nice on paper or perfectly nice to you. Tip number 4. Have a code word with a trusted friend. This is something I genuinely recommend. Set up a code word or phrase with a close friend. Something totally casual that signals you need help or want an excuse to leave. Your friend can then call you with a family emergency or meet you outside. Whatever you agreed on. Have you ever been in a situation on a date where your gut told you something was off? Drop it in the comments. Not to scare anyone, just so others know they are not alone in this. Tip number 5. Do a quick digital safety check before meeting someone from an app. Before meeting anyone from a dating app, do a basic reverse image search on their photos. You can use Google Images or a free app like Reverse Photos. This takes about 2 minutes and can tell you whether the photo is stolen from somewhere else or from someone else's social media, which is a major red flag. You can also Google their first name plus their city or cross-check their social media. This is due diligence. We check Google reviews before we go to a restaurant. We can absolutely do a quick check before we meet a stranger. Tip number 6. Be careful about posting that you live alone on social media. I know this will affect my fellow Gen Zs. Clock it. So be very careful about sharing that you live alone on social media. It's a very risky something to do. This one catches a lot of people off guard. If you're dating and active on apps or social media, be mindful about what you post. Showing your apartment in the background of photos, mentioning that you live alone, tagging your exact neighborhood. Next up, suspicious neighbors. And I want to be really careful here because I don't want to make your I don't want to make you paranoid about every person who live in your building. Most of your neighbors are just regular people living their lives. But sometimes something doesn't feel right. And it's important to know the difference between general discomfort and a genuine warning sign, and to know what to do either way. Not every red interaction is a red flag, but here are some patterns worth paying attention to. A neighbor who seems to know your schedule better, who comments on when you come and go, or seems to know when you've been away. A neighbor who keeps showing up at your door without a real reason, always just checking on you or asking to borrow something frequently at odd hours. A neighbor who has made comments that felt threatening, possessive, or overly personal, especially about your appearance or your personal life. Someone who watches you from their doorway, follows you to the mall bus, or lingers in the parking lot when you come home. None of these signs on their own are necessarily criminal, but it is a pattern, and such behavior is worth taking seriously. What to actually do? Step 1, document everything. Keep a note app on your phone, and every time something happens, write down the date, the time, and exactly what occurred. This might seem like overkill or overskill or overreaction, but if you ever need to report this to your landlord or to the police, documentation is everything. It transforms "I just feel uncomfortable" into a clear record of behavior. Step 2 is to limit contact and stop being polite to the point of putting yourself at risk. You don't have to be rude, but you are also not obliged to chat with someone who makes you uncomfortable. A brief nod and walking away is entirely acceptable. You are not responsible for managing someone else's feeling at the expense of your own safety. Step 3, report it. If the behavior is ongoing, report it to your building manager or landlord in writing, not just verbally. Email is great because it creates a proper trail. Explain calmly what has been happening and ask them to address it. If at any point you feel genuinely threatened, if someone has made a direct threat or indirect threat, blocked your path, or touched you without consent, that is a police matter. Don't talk yourself out of calling. One more practical tip: get to know a few of your other neighbors casually, not deeply, just enough to know a name and their faces. Having neighbors who recognize you and notice if something seems wrong is a genuine safety asset. Community is one of the best forms of protection. Has anyone ever dealt with a situation like this? A neighbor who gave you the creeps, like the feeling that you have the instinct that this person is up to something bad. What did you do? Tell me in the comment section, genuinely, because your experience might help someone else figure out what to do. Emergency response planning. Okay, this next section might be the most important part of this entire video, and I think it's the part that most people skip because it feels overwhelming or like that it won't happen to me kind of feeling. But here is what I know: emergencies don't schedule themselves. They happen when we are tired, when we are stressed, when we are least prepared, when we think we are safe. So the time to build your emergency response plan is right now, not after something goes wrong. What is an emergency response plan? It is basically a personal safety protocol. It's the decisions you've already made so that in a moment of fear or chaos, your brain doesn't have to start from zero. Let me walk you through the way. Component 1, know your emergency number for your country. This one sounds incredibly basic, but I want to make sure every single person watching this video knows the correct number to call in a crisis, because this is a global audience and emergency numbers are not the same everywhere. For United States and Canada, we have 911. For United Kingdom, 999 or 112. For Australia, we have 000 or 112. For Nigeria is 112, that is the national emergency, or 767 for police. European Union 112. Please, if I didn't mention your country's emergency contact, drop it at the comment section. You might be helping a friend or a brother. So if you recently moved, especially internationally, please look up your local emergency number right now. Seriously, pause this video, look it up and save it in your phone. You should also know the non-emergency line for your local police department, because not everything requires a 999 or 911 call, but still needs attention. Component 2, have an ICE contact in your phone. ICE stands for in case of emergency. It's a contact saved in your phone with that exact label, ICE. First responders are trained to look for this. Make sure the person listed knows they are your ICE contact, knows your medical history if relevant, and knows your home address. Component 3, build your personal emergency kit. I know emergency kit sounds very survivalist, but I promise you this is a practical something to do. As a woman living alone, yours doesn't have to be elaborate. It should include a small portable battery bank to charge your phone, a basic first aid kit, a flashlight with fresh batteries or hand crank flashlight, a small amount of cash. ATMs and card machines go down in emergency, so you need cash. Any prescription medication you take, a 3-day supply at minimum. Copies of your important documents, ID, passport, insurance, either physical or stored securely in cloud storage like Google Drive or iCloud. Keep this kit somewhere you can grab it quickly. A small bag in your bedroom closet works perfectly. Component 4. Have a fire escape plan. Do you know how you get out of your apartment if there was a fire and the main door was blocked? Do you know where your building's fire exits are? Have you ever actually walked the route? Most people haven't. Walk it this week. Know which direction to go. Know if there is a window you could exit from in an emergency. Know whether your building has a meeting point. Know your building manager's contact number. Component 5. Have a safe word with a trusted friend. Earlier, I mentioned code words for dating situations, but this is slightly different. This is a word or phrase you can use in a phone call or text to let someone know that you are in danger, to let that friend or family member or someone close to you that you are in danger and that you need help. This will work without you alerting whoever might be nearby or whoever might be the one that is after you. For example, your code word with your friend can be, "Did you water my plants?" And once you tell your friend will now understand that what you're talking about is, "I need help. I'm in a terrible situation. My location is bad. There are people following me," or something of that nature. You see, it's very easy for both of you. And in that way, you have sent an information out without alerting anybody close by. Okay, here is something I want you to actually do after this video. Not tomorrow, tonight, like right now, depending on when you're seeing this video. Write down your emergency number, your ICE contact, that is ICE in case of emergency, and your building's fire exit route in your note app. It takes 5 minutes. That 5 minutes could matter enormously. The next thing I'm going to talk about is self-defense basics for women. Let's talk about self-defense. And I want to start by saying something that I think gets lost in a lot of this conversation. Self-defense is not about becoming someone who looks for a fight. It's about building confidence in your own body and knowing that if you ever need to protect yourself, you have some tools to draw on. You don't have to be an athlete or you work in Olympics or be in WWE. You don't need to have any previous training. The basics of self-defense are genuinely learnable by anyone. The most powerful self-defense tool you can have is your voice. I know that might sound anticlimactic, but I mean it. A loud, confident shout or scream can disorient an attacker. It can attract attention and signal to bystanders that help is needed. Many self-defense instructors say that a strong, fierce verbal response like "get back," "stop," "fire" is one of the most effective deterrents available. Practice this at home. I'm serious, very, very serious. Practice shouting loudly and assertively. Personal safety tools worth considering. Number 1 is personal alarm. This is a small device that emits an extremely loud sound, usually 120 plus decibels. When activated, it's not a weapon, it's not illegal in most places, and it is effective because sudden loud noise disorients people. You can get one for very little money, and I would recommend attaching it to your keys or bag so it is always accessible. The second one is pepper spray. I mentioned this in part 1 of my video. In places where it's illegal, check your local laws because it varies by country and even by region. Pepper spray is a widely used personal safety tool. If you choose to carry it, then how to use it properly. Store it safely and keep it in a place that it will be accessible for you. Some versions come in a lipstick or pen form, which is discreet. Nobody will know. The second one is door stop alarm. This one is specifically great for women living alone. It's a small weight device you place under your door at night. If someone tries to open the door, it triggers an alarm. It is inexpensive and requires no installation. Basic physical self-defense. 3 things to know. I'm not going to teach you a full self-defense class through a YouTube video. Please take an in-person class if you can, and I mean it genuinely. But here is what I want you to take away from all of this. Being a woman who lives alone is not a vulnerability. It is a choice, and a brave one at that. And if you want to watch part 1, it is linked right there at the description. Go check it out. Take care of yourself, stay safe, and I'll see you next time.